All right, what's up, guys? Let's go ahead and get the call started. Welcome to week two, our January Wealth Challenge. I'm so excited. I'm so fired up to continue on in the month of January with not just the action steps, not just the mindset, but really getting everybody on track and creating a space that's allowing us to grow more in when it comes to our finances and just creating more accountability so that we can actually see transformation in the 2024 year. But I'm curious before we dive in because I'm gonna do a few things on tonight's call. I'm gonna be sharing with you the action step, the first action step for this week. That's going to help you get on track to building wealth. But I'm also going to be sharing two major practices, two major things that are going to determine if you're even on track to building wealth in the first place. And then at the very end, I'm actually going to be sharing the three things that I'm going to be giving away at the end of this month. So stay tuned. I'm excited. This won't be a super long call, but it is going to be a jam-packed call with some value, some perspective, and of course, some action steps that you can take away and start applying immediately. So I'd love to hear, I'm going to record this call just for the sake of future reference and things like that. But I'd love to hear for those of you that are on the call. I see you, Alex and Eric, as of right now. Drop in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself. What has been an action that we've shared so far that you have started applying? What has been an action that you have started applying so far that we've dropped in the Wealth Challenge? And yeah, Eric, it is all good. Like the purpose of this wealth group, this wealth challenge, it's not to, hit the nail on the head with everything. It's not to, be picture perfect. Really, the goal is just to start doing something. Because I know for myself, several years ago, I wasn't doing anything, nor did I know even what to do to begin with. And so a lot of this is just to get ourselves on track because right, a lot of us have been maybe off track. We aren't even aware of the right things that we should be doing. So it's not about perfection. This is all about making progress and just starting to actually move the ball forward in our lives. So let's see. We've got okay, paying yourself, tracking your expenses. Okay, super simple. That's amazing. So I truly believe because paying yourself was the first thing we talked about. Tracking your expenses has been kind of that core foundational point that we've been, speaking on a daily basis. So I'm super proud of you guys for already doing that, and hopefully you're starting to become aware of yourself. It's not so much necessarily about the amount of money that you're paying yourself, or what maybe the tracking of your expenses looks like. For some, it's going to be very surprising. And for some, it's like, hey, I kind of was in that ballpark range of where I thought I was at. But the purpose is to just start to become aware with the intention of actually acknowledging and accepting where we're currently at, because we can't live in denial of the numbers that we think are in our head. When we write them down, when we get clear, when we face the truth, it allows us to be able to grow from that. So the awareness factor is really the main point. So I believe that if you're in this, this wealth challenge group, you're on this call even right now, you don't have to be here. This is completely optional to be on this call. I believe you're here because you want to increase your income. You want to get your finances in order. And I think most importantly is you want a sense of hope in future when it comes to building wealth. You want to get on track to being able to do that. And so the real purpose of this group is to share specific resources, to share the mindset, to create accountability, and really to, at the end of the day, create an environment that's conducive to your financial growth and being able to do all the above that we talked about. So I know last week, these are, and I'll be fully transparent with you guys as well. I shared three like actions that we should be consistently doing anyways. I am not 100% with some of these myself. I'll just be completely transparent with you. But hopefully you are starting to get on track with your daily workouts. Hopefully you are starting to get into the mindset of what it's like to map out your meals for the week. And the whole purpose is to get your mind, get your body right, A lot, limit yourself from spending money. You want to position yourself to have control over your finances. And one of the best ways to do that on a week to week basis is just meal prep your food. Hopefully you're doing that. And then last but not least, we've already been talking about it, is tracking your daily expenses. You cannot grow, I'll write this down. You cannot grow what you do not track and what you don't measure. And so every week, as I did last week, we shared 3 specific actions that you should start taking. And every week I'm going to be doing the exact same thing, to not only apply right away, but giving you the mindset that's required to follow through consistently to building the wealth that we're all here for. So I want to start off by sharing 2 major practices that I believe will determine if you're even on the track, you're even on the path to building wealth for yourself. And number 1 is managing your money well. And I can tell you from just personal experience, I got myself in 100K student loan debt, over 100K student loan debt when I graduated from college. And I was just, it was a financial nightmare. I didn't know what the heck I was going to do to not only get myself out of my debt, but the worst part of it is I didn't have any financial literacy. I was reliant on just one stream of income at my job, and I didn't have really any other skill sets that would allow me to, create income on the side or increase my income in another way outside of just trading my time for money. And so the principle of this is why I'm starting with this as number 1, managing your money well, is you cannot even begin to make more money and keep it, because it's not about how much you make. I know 6-figure earners, 7-figure earners, okay, multiple 6-figure earners that are broke because they don't have good money management. And so on the track to building wealth, you've got to become a good manager of your money. You have to become a good steward of what you already have right now. That is principle number 1. You cannot have more until you become more and you know how to manage the things that are already in your hands. So be a good manager of your money. What do you already have in front of you that you could be taking advantage of right now? Okay. And then number 2 is multiplying your money. So I believe you can't have the first without you can't have the latter without the first. You have to be able to be a good manager of your money first. And then when you actually do multiply your money, you actually do start increasing your income, you'll not only know how to keep it, but you'll be able to multiply it. And I think that's one of the most important pieces, especially I believe God is able to do through us, is when you are a good steward of what you already have, he can work through you. He can use you as a vessel to multiply the seeds that have already been planted. And so I want to encourage you with my message tonight, going into this week, to start being mindful of these things. Start actually taking the action. Start actually writing it down. My paper's in the other room, but I have a piece of paper that I just wrote at the very top, January 2024 expenses. And I have on a column what my essential expenses are and my non-essential. And trust me, I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm, to the start of the month, I'm already like, okay, this is where we're at. And being able to kind of dissect and own the fact that, hey, Abby, maybe, you should cool it when it comes to, spending your money here. Like, you have to be able to take ownership of that, take responsibility of that. And so my point is, manage your money well so that when you actually do increase your income, you know how to not only keep it, but continue to scale it, continue to multiply. Because there's a lot of people, maybe you're on this call right now, you're in this, challenge, and maybe you have great income, but you're not keeping it. You're not a good manager yet. So we want to be able to practice both skills and characteristics. So I want to kind of get into this because right now, I think some of you guys may have thought this wealth challenge was going to be something different. And I want to just kind of paint the picture and give you the right perspective, because what you put into this is what you're going to get out of this. And I want you to have, yes, expectations for your work ethic in this, but I don't want you to have certain expectations for maybe what you'll receive, because I believe that right now what we're doing is we're just laying the foundation. I'm not here to give you the next crypto project that's going to boom. I'm not here to, hey, buy this, invest in that. Hey, this is where you should be putting your money. That's not what this is all about. And it goes back to the principles I just talked about. If we can't even manage what we already have, it's going to be it's going to do you no benefit, no service of me just giving you handouts of where to put your money. I mean, if you divided the wealth from, amongst all of us in the entire world, in a year's time, it will be back in the hands of where it started. And the reason is because of a lack of financial literacy. We don't know how to multiply our money. We don't know what to do with a dollar. And if you guys listened to, drop a one in the chat if maybe you listened to it, or hopefully you'll listen to it this week. I dropped a 9-minute video in the chat for you guys to listen to. And I'm only doing that like once a week, so it's not this overwhelm, but it is very important information and perspective. But Patrick Bet-David is an individual I look up to, and I watch and I listen when it comes to just money mindset in my finances and how to see things from a different, wealthy perspective. And he talks about the number one rule of money. And I won't give away the whole thing because I want you to listen to him. He says it way better than I do. But he talked about the number one rule of money is if you're looking at whatever it is, asking yourself, can I double it? And not necessarily how quickly can I double it. I think as you continue to scale, you can start to have that mindset because you have to develop yourself first. But he talks about how can I double whatever it may be. When I'm working a job, I can't necessarily double my income in the way that he's referring to. It's going to take me a while to double maybe the amount of money that I'm making right now. I can get a promotion, but that's a few cents, a couple quarters, maybe a couple dollars, 10 bucks, whatever the position may be. But it may take some time for me to double my money. And that's why over the last few years, personally, I've been drawn to skill sets because it's allowed me to double my money. It's allowed me to compound and multiply my money. And so take a look at that video. I think it'll give you a nice transition perspective from the video I gave you guys last week, talking about the 4 ways that you make money. So you can start to become aware of where you're at and how you can move and transition to the other side, how to actually start growing your money for you. So I just want to give you guys this really quick. We are cementing the habit of being a good manager of our money right now. You are laying the foundation. And this wealth challenge is just to kind of give you the opportunity, give you the space, the lane, the accountability to do so. Because otherwise, if maybe this wasn't here, would you be taking advantage of this right now? And the opportunity is not, oh, it'll happen in the future again, or oh, I missed it last year. It's right now. So I don't know, this is bigger. The way that I see it is this is bigger and deeper than just getting your finances right. This is spiritual. To have more, you must first become more. You must adopt a new identity for how you do things, for how you see things, for how you receive, and how you continue to show up and carry yourself. And so I truly believe, I talked about this yesterday on Sunday, to change your current circumstances. Maybe you're in a situation right now where you want to increase your income. Maybe you're a good manager already and your next step is to start increasing your income. I want you to first be willing to let go of maybe your former self and be renewed by your new self. I want you to start to look at maybe the new habits, the new behaviors, the new mindset that you need to step into going into 2024, that I think will allow you to increase your income this year, learning the right skill sets. And if you hang tight, the next couple of weeks, we're going to start getting into what that actually looks like. The first couple of weeks are really about managing your money, building that foundation. The latter couple of weeks are going to be about actually knowing how to multiply your money and setting you up to do that. So the first 3 action steps, I'm going to get into the first one to start this week. But the first 3 action steps we talked about: paying yourself first, tracking your expenses, and setting action-based goals. Hopefully you started to do that. Hopefully you're starting to write this down. You're starting to see the importance of actually doing this, because I believe at the end of the day, what is out of mind, what's the saying, out of mind, out of sight, or out of sight, out of mind. If you don't have it in front of you, you're always going to be ignorant to it, and it's going to always have power over you. Because for the longest time, because I didn't write down what my expenses were, I never knew that was my kryptonite. I never knew that was my true weakness, because I wasn't aware of where my money was going. I was ignorant. I was fearful, where I was going to get my next paycheck from. And so I want you guys to have full transparency in this process. So hopefully you guys are still with me. I'm going to give you the first action step of this week. And you probably could have guessed it. It is manage your money well. I want to make this its own action, its own principle. And how you can start applying this is just taking inventory. Okay, taking inventory of what you already have. Managing your money well starts with, I believe, managing yourself. And so some of the things, you can write this down. I highly recommend that you write it down so you can actually see it. What kind of, sometimes what's in your head can seem more overwhelming, or maybe not even that big of a deal. But when you write it on paper, you see it for what it really is. And so maybe you start writing down how you are with yourself. Managing your money well starts with how you manage yourself well. You cannot have the first without the latter. And so some of the things maybe you can ponder is, how well do you set, commit, and finish what you start? How do you view, I believe how you view yourself has a lot to do with how you view and manage your finances, your beliefs, your relationship with your money. How well do you take care of your car? How well do you take care of your home, your room? Do you make your bed? I mean, it's the little things, and it's not the whole saying of you'll never be successful if you don't make your bed. But I do think it's a strong characteristic. It says a lot about who you are. Being organized, taking responsibility. Making your bed is just a small thing that can add a win in your day. And that's what we want to do at the end of the day. I won't go down that road, but we want to build personal momentum, and we do that through little wins. So how well do you take care of your car, your home, your room, your bathroom? Okay. I mean, the list goes on. When you receive the first paycheck, right? When you receive your paycheck, what are you doing with that money? Where is your money going every week? Do you have self-control? Do you have discipline? Make that something that you want to build. Doesn't need to be perfect, but make that something that you want to build this year. Learn to maybe say no and not have FOMO. It's okay. There will be other opportunities. There will be more, invites that you have in the future. This is not the end all be all. It is okay. And I want to say, this is the last thing. You and I, not like everyone, okay, we cannot afford to be lazy and undisciplined with our finances, especially in 2024. I mean, there's a lot going on this year. You've got election year. If you're into crypto, you've got the halving. I mean, there's a lot at stake, a lot of things that are going on that you can position yourself if you are disciplined, if you have self-control, and if you start to be a good manager of not just your money, but the things that you already have in your life. Maybe a really easy one that a lot of us could apply is, if you already went to the grocery store and you have food in your fridge, in your pantry, you don't need to go out and buy fast food, or you don't need to go out and spend $30 on dinner when you already have food at home. Let's be mindful of the things that are in front of us. So maybe you need to cut out impulse spending. This is why tracking is obviously so important. You can't grow what you don't track, and you cannot heal what you don't acknowledge. And so that is the first action step for this week, is start to become aware, take inventory of what you already have and how you can manage it well. Managing your money well is the first action step for this week. And I hope that this message gives you perspective. I hope that this starts to soften your heart in some of the ways that you're viewing yourself, you're viewing your relationship with your finances, you're viewing your future. It gives you a sense of hope that, hey, I can turn things around. But it all starts with you. You are your biggest problem, but you're also your biggest solution. And so last thing really quick, and then I'll open up, I'll stop the recording if you guys have some questions. But we're going to be doing a giveaway at the end of the month. I'm going to be choosing 3 people, and it comes down to participation. I love to see some of the texts that you guys have been sending of what you've actually started to implement, some of the things that you started to become aware of, some of the progress maybe you're starting to make. It's very early on, so maybe no financial real results or gains. I think you'll start to see that maybe towards the end of the month, towards the end of the quarter. But I love to see the actions that you're taking, and the texts that I've been receiving from you guys, and just the energy in the chat. It really does fuel me and inspires me and gets me just ready to share more with you guys. So the giveaway, I'm going to give away my top finance and mindset book. I have 2 in mind that I'm going to give away. The second thing I'm going to give away is one share of a crypto project that I'm currently holding. Don't know which one yet. We'll decide at the end of the month. And then the last one will be a one-on-one call with me. Yeah, you can ask questions. We can, dissect your current budget, your current goals for the year. Kind of a free-for-all call, 30 minutes, hour. We'll do something. And so the winner, the first person, the winner will be chosen first. They get to choose which one they want. Second person will be next. They'll choose from the last two, and then whoever's third will get what is left. And they're all great. You can't go wrong with either one. Just the opportunity to kind of give and help people move forward. But that is the call, guys. Let me stop the recording. I'd love to hear if anybody has any questions. Maybe they want to share on the call. Let me stop recording.